today we're going to be unboxing a Blu-ray that I ordered from SRS Cinema. It's another Polonia movie, you're damn right. And this one is... Sister Krampus, baby. Let's freaking do this. Now this, if I am correct, I believe this is... Yeah, this is another movie that's directed by both Anthony and Mark Polonia. Mark Polonia's son. The last one we did, Hell on the Shelf, which was... I enjoyed that one. But man, I love the cover for this. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to take a picture. That's awesome cover right there. That's awesome. There's like a head on the tree. I love it. Sister Krampus. I'm sure it's... Alright, let's check this out. Near the end of World War II, American soldiers perpetuate an unspeakable horror on a local nun turned away from the church. Krampus hears her cry, enacting brutal revenge, but it comes with a price. Decades later, two sisters visiting Europe on a Christmas holiday are unexpectedly plunged into the nightmare web of Sister Krampus, bride of the holiday deity. They are aided by a local village woman. Together, they venture into the nearby desolate convent to unlock the secret to stopping the evil spirit once and for all. Yo, I'm with it. I am with it. But with that being said, let's see how this one goes. Boom, baby. We are here. We are back with the review. So yeah, I had to finish this review over here at work just because, you know, as usual, things are hectic. So the movie stars Rebecca Reinhardt, Marie De La Ronza, Danielle Donahue, Yoli Canoles, come on, dude. Tim Hatch, and my boy, Jeff Kirkendall. Now, I will say this, I bought this DVD or Blu-ray for two reasons. One, to keep up on the latest Polonia films. Two, because it's got my boy, Jeff Kirkendall, who is probably my favorite recurring character in all of the Polonia films. Yeah, there's, what's his name, Ken Van Sant. I think I said his name right. The guy that plays Duke and Beach a lot of his other movies. He's cool, definitely. But man, Jeff Kirkendall. The film opens up in 1943, somewhere in Austria, near like the end of the World War II. We have three American soldiers who have just unfortunately committed a heinous act against a nun. Yes, they took advantage of a nun. And also we find out that these aren't necessarily the best soldiers in the army. I believe they ended up deserting their platoon or whatever, and they're just fucking off somewhere in Austria. I don't know what they're doing. Fucking raping women and just drinking water and beer. And meanwhile, we cut to Sister Benedict, who was just assaulted by these guys, and she tries to head to her convent, where they essentially just give her the boot. Like, low-key, I was just watching this like, damn, dude, Sister Superior, chill, girl, fucking... She even says, like, I just invited them in for, like, food and water. Like, I was just trying to be nice. They took advantage and, you know, fucking assaulted me. But the Superior is just like, get the hell out of here. So she's off in the forest. She's crying. And guess who hears her cries? Yes, Krampus. The one, the only Christmas evil deity. Is he evil, though? Like, low-key, I mean, it's what he was born to do, right? I don't know. And what does a good Christmas deity do? He takes care of the problems by killing all three of the American soldiers. And we get a really cool decapitation. Unfortunately, my boy Jeff Kirkendall dies right here. Low-key, when I was watching this, I was mad. I was like, bro, I just bought this movie. One of the two reasons for you, and you die in the opening sequence. Also, these are super low budget to micro budget films. Like, I bring that up specifically for a reason, because there's a lot of shots in this movie where are just like close-ups, and I believe they do that to try to make use of the location they have. You know, if they do a really wide shot, it's going to give away a lot of the background. You're going to obviously be able to tell, well, they're just filming all in one location. So they do like these little tricks, which you have to admire. Like, I'm not a filmmaker, but I would love to be in the filmmaking business or just do anything with filmmaking, and little tricks like that I tend to pick up and just I have to give a shout out to. Like, dude, you take so little with what you got and you turn it into something silly, but something fucking awesome. And in my opinion, it's worth to watch these movies just for the sheer commitment that they put into making them. So yeah, after these three American soldiers are killed, Krampus ends up talking to Sister Benedict, and he's like, hey, come over here. Let me heal your wounds.
You look lost, my sister. Let me help fill your tattered soul.
Now we cut to present day Austria. We have two sisters, Marie and Judy. They are both traveling through Europe. I have no idea why they're in Austria in some little town. Makes no sense to me. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that I'm just kind of like scratching my head at. But hey, I'm not gonna poke at these movies because I know what to expect when going into a Polonia film. So yeah, Mary and Judy are just backpacking through Europe and they're just having this little conversation. And right off the bat, we get hit with some pretty deep stuff. They don't argue, but they pretty much bring up how when they were younger, I believe it was Judy, she just couldn't take all the abuse that was going on in the house, and she dips it. She left her mom and her sister Mary to just, take care of themselves. So Mary has this resentment, and it's like brought up right at the beginning because it's kind of an important aspect towards the movie. Yo, are we really getting this deep with a Polonia film?
Yeah, that's deep.
It's also kind of implied that there might have been a possibility of some sort of sexual abuse from the father figure to the daughters, and Krampus knows that shit. Like when they meet Sister Krampus a few minutes later in that exact same scene, she does this like stare down, and later on you find out what it is, but it's fucking hilarious. When you see the effect come on screen and you're just like, what is going on? But Sister Krampus can just, what she does is every year she feeds off of wounded souls. People that have a lot of darkness in them, particularly people that have dealt with a lot of trauma, stuff like that. So she's very drawn to Mary. She's primarily focused on Mary because Judy left. Judy just ran away. Mary had to fucking take all the abuse and everything like that. So once Sister Krampus meets them, she's instantly drawn and fixated on just capturing Mary and, sucking the fucking life out of her soul. After this, we get introduced to our third cast member in the movie, which probably was my favorite part of the movie because there's a lot of humor with just the interactions with this cast member. But they end up going to a local inn where they stay there for $8 a night, damn, and they're fed nasty ass potato soup and flat ass beer from our one and only Yoli Cannolis.
All we have today is potato soup. No wine. We only have beer. Here you are.
That's not her name. But her name in the movie is Esmeralda. She's the local innkeeper. And she's kind of the one that explains a little bit about the curse of Krampus, how she needs to feed. She's also got a little backstory that earlier in her life, she had a daughter. And this was actually hilarious. She had a daughter, and one day her daughter went off to the woods. And the only logical explanation was Sister Krampus took her. There's no possibility of her just getting lost and mauled by a bear. Nope. Wandering off and falling off a cliff. Nope. Heading to the river and potentially drowning. Nope. The only logical explanation was Sister Krampus took daughter. I want to throw a shout out to stock footage. I swear, dude, you are the king at using and blending stock footage. When they get to the town, it cuts to a stock footage of what appears to me of some sort of midsummer vibes. You have people in robes, flower dresses, doing circles, chanting Krampus, Krampus. And what they're doing is a ritual to kind of ward off Sister Krampus or the main guy Krampus. There's a part at night where they're just sitting outside observing the ritual, and from their point of view, it looks like the light is flickering, like there's potentially a flame in front of them, and it cuts through the stock footage back and forth, and it does it so well. I mean, it's obviously stock footage, 100%. You're like, okay, bro, you're seriously using stock footage? But yeah, he is. He uses it a lot. And he does a blend so well right here. I just have to applaud it. So eventually, Sister Krampus ends up doing some sort of ritual and puts some sort of spell or tries to just inhabit. I don't know what she fucking does, to be honest. I'll be honest about it. She does some sort of spell for some reason because she needs her vessel, but it doesn't really make sense because later on towards the end, she's like, yeah, I need to eat your soul. So what was the point of trying to put her under a spell? I don't know, maybe to make her weak. But anyways, it's at this point where she's always sleepy. She just wants to sleep. So the sister, Judy, she's like, okay, well, I'll go check out the ruined covenant that we were invited to in the beginning of the movie that I forgot to mention by the nun. And now I'm saying ruined because that's what they describe it as. There's a stock image of the Covenant, and it just looks like it's absolutely in ruins. You know, they said that, oh, the ruined Covenant, that thing was like blown up in the war of 1940 whatever. And when we finally get to this Covenant, it's not in ruins. No, it's obviously the back end of like some studio, a theater room or something. Like, it's low-key. It's not a ruined Covenant. But dude, I'm not gonna bash on stuff like that. Like, I'm not gonna bash on the acting in this movie either, because I can't act 100%. I cannot act. So I know what to expect when going in these movies, and the acting isn't gonna be freaking top of the line, but it's also not gonna be to the point where I'm gonna bash on it. So the acting is fine for me. But anyways, Judy's there, she's poking her nose, and she runs into Sister Krampus, and Judy calls her out. She's like, hey, who are you? Who are you really? Are you Sister Krampus? Because I was reading a book at the library, and I saw your picture in it, but you know, it can't be you, because that was 1943. And what happens what happens to the cat when they're too nosy? We have a tag team of Esmeralda and Mary joining forces, go take down the evil Sister Krampus. But first, we have to make a stop to the church for some holy water. Now, here is a lesson in close-ups. Again, we're supposed to be at a church, right? And he does this thing where it's a close-up of Esmeralda, you know, grabbing the water from the thing, and they're like, hey, aren't we going to get in trouble for stealing holy water? And she's like, God would forgive us. It was pretty funny. I'm telling you, all the funny stuff comes from the interactions between the main cast and they're interacting with Esmeralda. But anyways, they're stealing holy water, and again, a close-up shot so you don't expose the exterior. I'm just guessing. You don't expose the exterior, and you're led to believe, like, okay, they're at a church. Dude, he is like genius when it comes to filmmaking, in my opinion. So they got their holy water, and then they end up heading to the Covenant to go save their sister. But there's a funny little part. And at the beginning of the movie, we met Roger, Jeff Kirkendall. He ends up getting turned into a zombie slave. And it explained that the reason he's a zombie slave, because out of the 3 soldiers that were there, he was probably he was the only one that felt some sort of remorse. Like, he was forced to do the act. He did not want to do it. He kept saying, every time there's a flashback of him, like, no, we can't do this. This is not right. So Sister Krampus like acknowledges that, and she's like, I'm gonna just make you my zombie slave, and he has to do her bidding, and all he wants to do is be free. He just wants his soul to be fucking free so he can go rest and shit. So we have this zombie slave out of nowhere, and it's a really funny bit with Mary the zombie and Esmeralda. They're trying to kill it, and she like Esmeralda like throws the holy water on the fucking zombie, like that's gonna do something. And Mary just like, okay bro, chill out, I got this. And she grabs a stick, she stabs it through the eye, right? And Esmeralda's just like,
how did you know that would work? Have you never seen a zombie movie? What is this zombie movie?
How did you know how to do that? It's just so, I don't know, for me that was like the funniest part of the whole movie. So zombie homeboy's taken out, right? Now we just have Sister Krampus left, and she ain't having it. She starts sucking the life out of Mary. I'm gonna eat your soul! Who comes in for the clutch save? My girl, Esmeralda, she comes in, and she literally just starts pouring that holy water down Sister Krampus' throat, and she's like, why have you forsaken me? What I really enjoyed about this one is my expectations were subverted. And you know what, writers from Game of Thrones, you need to take note about how to subvert expectations, okay? Because Mark Polonia got it down. So Mary and Esmeralda are getting away. They just killed off Sister Krampus, but no. Guess who shows up? Krampus shows up, baby. And he's just like, who killed my wife? And they're just like, oh shit, we did. And he, in my head, I was like high, and I was like, oh shit, here it comes. Here it comes. Here we go. We're going to get like a double decapitation. They're going to end up in hell. What are we going to get? And he's just looking at him, and they're just like, thank you so much. She was such a thorn in my side. And I legit started cracking up. I was like, what? What is happening here? No, but this dude is actually grateful that they took out Sister Krampus, because I guess he's just been absolutely annoyed by her. And what does he do? He gifts them with life and returns the Sister Judy. And Esmeralda, she's like, and she starts walking away all sad, like, okay, I helped out, I gotta go back. And all of a sudden you just hear, Mama, Mama. And she gets her freaking daughter back, yo. And it ends on a happy note. And I was just like, oh, that was fucking cute. Like low key, that was super cute. And I just really enjoyed this movie. I mean, yeah, people can watch this and 100% do all the nitpicking they want. But that's not me. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy Polonia films here, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and shut up. I got to get to work. I hope you all have a most excellent day and enjoyed this review. If you did, let me know in the comments. Please be sure to hit like and subscribe. It would mean a lot if you join me here in my horror corner while we ramble on. Granted, I'm not in my horror corner today. Happy spookies.
Ah! Ooh! It's still pretty dark in here.